few weeks ago, I decided enough was enough. For too long, the big cheeses over at Gucci, Louis Vuitton and Ralph Lauren had held a monopoly over the fashion industry, and me and my cat wanted a slice of that pie. Because of this, I decided to start my own clothing store as a complete beginner to see if I could make it onto the Mount Rushmore of fashion. Now obviously I wasn't going to knock Ralph Lauren off the top spot at the UFC, the Ultimate Fashion Championships, so I opted to start small and set myself the goal of making $1,000 from a brand new clothing store, and in today's video I'll be revealing how that went. In the past, I'd run a couple of little eBay side hustles. I sold beard oils, I sold leather wallets, and for a little while I tried to sell these cereal bowls, which have one compartment for the cereal and one compartment for the milk, so that your cereal doesn't get too soggy. Through my experience of managing these multi-billion-dollar ventures, I was already aware of some of the problems that come with running a physical product store. For instance, the struggle of sourcing reliable suppliers, the stress of finding somewhere to actually store all of your products, the hassle of having to ship out the products when they do sell, and of course the risk of not making any sales at all and being stuck with hundreds of cereal bowls that no one wants to buy. Because I didn't want to deal with any of these problems with this new store I'd be creating, this time round I decided to opt for a business model called print on demand. For this approach, you personally handle things like the product design, building the website and marketing products, the things that I'm actually okay at and enjoy. Then whenever an order comes through, it automatically goes to the print on demand company who handle creating the product and shipping the product out to your customer, effectively dodging all of the common physical product ass aches that I mentioned before. So the first step in building this new fashion empire was choosing a print-on-demand company, and for this I decided to go with Printful. The reason I decided to go with them is because after reading a bunch of articles and watching countless videos on the topic of print-on-demand, they just popped up consistently as the most high quality and reliable provider. Because they fulfill over 1 million orders every month around the globe, they're hugely experienced, and you don't actually have to pay upfront or a monthly fee to use their service. You just pay for the product and the shipping whenever you get an order, and then you keep the rest of the profit for yourself. Full transparency, I did end up asking Printful to sponsor this video and they agreed, but they've not paid me to say anything positive, just to share my honest experience of using their service as part of this venture. With my print-on-demand supplier chosen, the next step was choosing what I would actually be selling, and this was kind of easy. Cat-themed merch, specifically My Cat Junior. I don't think I need to explain myself on that one. I mean, just look at her. Now, I'm not a designer, so I decided to outsource this part, and rather than just getting a bunch of designs and filling my store with absolutely everything under the sun, I decided to start slow and just choose and focus on one product which I was absolutely sure would be a winning product that would actually sell. Just kind of as a way of getting things kick-started, and then over time I could build up the store with more designs and new products. The design which I was very confident would sell well and be a winning product was this Rootin' Tootin' t-shirt which I'd seen all over Instagram. It was created by a designer called Miranda, aka Pearl Cat Studio. I actually bought one about a year ago to wear to all of the black tie functions that I get invited to. So I knew this shirt sold well for Miranda, so I reached out to her and asked if she'd be open to making a kind of limited edition version of it with My Cat Junior on it, and she kindly agreed to do that for $300, which I was very happy with because, like I said, I was very confident that it would be a winning product for me. With my design sorted, I then had to decide what products I actually wanted to put it on and test them out. I didn't want people buying stuff that I hadn't actually held in my hand and tested the quality of myself, so I went into Printful, made up all of my products with my new design, and then ordered a bunch of samples so that I could try them out myself. I opted to keep things simple and just went with one black shirt, one white shirt, an apron, since I've made quite a lot of bacon videos on this channel and thought this was something I could wear in future videos of that ilk, a mug, and a tote bag. Because Printful offers such a wide selection of t-shirts in different styles, materials, and methods of customization, for example heavyweight, soft style, embroidered, and more, I decided to order all of the t-shirt options that they offer so that I could try them all for myself and find one which I felt was the best fit and quality. Out of everything that I tried, I really liked the Stanley Stella the best. It was just really nice quality and didn't feel like it would get faded or stretched out too quickly. quickly. I didn't really know what to do with all of the other sample t-shirts that I looked at because I didn't want to sell them, and I thought it would be a bit mental to keep them all for myself. So instead I ended up just posting them out for free as a surprise to the first bunch of people that had placed an order on my store, with a wee handwritten note just to say thank you. Now that I had my design, product and supplier chosen, the next job was building my store. I did have quite a few options for how I could go about this, because Printful does have integrations for quite a few different platforms and marketplaces, for example Etsy, TikTok Shop and Amazon, to name a few, but I decided to go with Shopify. When figuring out what my shop should look like, I decided to take inspiration, which is really just a fancy word for steal, from some of the big YouTubers out there who have their own merch stores. I used Emma Chamberlain's store as a template for the layout, and for the pricing, I just thought making $5 profit per item was good enough for me, so I hopped into the Printful dashboard to figure that one out and then set my prices accordingly. With my store built and my products tested, it was time to go live. To sell my products, I just wanted to use organic marketing, which is selling through the social media channels which I've personally built. And for this, that would be this YouTube channel, which you're watching right now, and the Instagram page that I made for my cat. Even though organic marketing is quite a long-term process in that you have to put in the time and effort to build up a page on whatever platform you decide to, I just prefer it to paid advertising where you throw a budget at Facebook ads or Instagram ads, because I just don't know how to do that. If I did know how to do that, maybe I wouldn't have several hundred cereal bowls in my attic right now. So to organically launch my store, I mentioned it in my most recent video where I reviewed my cat after 2 years. And in the first week, I sold 23 items for a total revenue of $521.06. At $5 profit per item, I therefore made $115 profit in my first week, which I think is pretty good. If I continued on that trajectory, that would be over $5,000 per year, which is a pretty nice side hustle. Even if things slowed way down and I was only selling one item a day for $5 profit, over the course of an entire year, that would still add up to $1,825, which after you take away that $300 design fee for Miranda and the like $290 that it costs to have Shopify for a year, it's still like $1,200 per year in profit. Obviously, I'm not going to retire from that profit, but I could reinvest that in hiring more designers and adding more products to build out my store further, or I could buy 2 of these 7 feet tall animatronic camels from Facebook Marketplace. So I've still not decided on how to use the profit yet. From this venture, I did learn a few valuable lessons about what it takes to start a new store and sell clothes online. First of all, I do think it's a really good idea to hire a designer who already has a winning design like Miranda does with her Rootin' Tootin' shirts. For future designs and products that I want to launch, I will definitely be taking this approach again, and we'll be looking at other sort of custom t-shirt websites and seeing if I can hire any of the best selling designers on there to make something for me. The second thing that I'm kind of curious about, so I can't really call it a lesson yet, is whether or not my store would have performed better if I'd kind of done things as a limited time release. Because my store pretty much has unlimited stock, I don't really think there's an urgency attached to it for people to buy anything. I've seen a lot of other YouTubers take this approach where they either have a limited quantity of the items or a limited time in which people can buy it. So for example, people can only buy the shirt, mug or cereal bowls within a week of the store launching, and then it gets shut down. With this approach, I think people are probably more likely to jump aboard and buy something so that they don't miss out on this limited time release. I'd like to experiment with this in the future to see if getting a stampede of orders through a time limited drop outweighs getting a kind of slow drip of 1 to 2 orders every day for a year. I hope this was interesting to follow along with and useful to any of you who are watching this thinking you'd quite like to do something similar for yourself. If you'd like to give Printful a go for yourself, then I can genuinely, honestly recommend them, and I'll drop my sign up link below for anyone that does want to try them out. The whole thing has been a very fun experience, and just because the barrier for entry is so low, I'd highly recommend that anyone with a little bit of time on their hands should give it a go for themselves. If you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate you leaving a like and subscribing for more. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.